Hey guys, what's up? It's me. Well, what was once Peekaboo 25. I've officially decided to push forward my rebranding after 2 months. I apologize for taking so long. I was hoping to have it done by the end of the week that I announced this. Turns out my friends are more incompetent than I thought, despite taking computer science classes up the wazoo, and they can't even use Illustrator properly. So, I'm still stuck without an image. I know what I want, I just don't have the means to get it thus far. I'll try and get it before the end of May. I can't guarantee it. Who knows? Maybe I'll have to steal something. Who knows? Either way, this is the newly dubbed Midwest Coaster Matador. Just for short, you can call me MC Matador. I just want to say that in order to celebrate the new name, I want to share my history. I talked a lot about my videos of how certain coasters, certain parks, certain developmental stages of my coaster enthusiasm have shaped me as a person and as a coaster enthusiast and even as a content creator. And I do want to say that I want to put forward this history since I'm pretty much fully developed as a coaster enthusiast. The final frontier, so to say, is to get out of the country. Canada, Mexico, Europe, Japan, anywhere. I haven't gotten out of the country yet, as you should know. We're going to get forward though. What took so long? Yes, in my last video, probably well over 2 months ago, I am no longer Peekaboo 25, and I will now be Midwest Coaster Matador, MC Matador for short. It's a homage to Midwestern everything. I am Illinois, residential, Wisconsin. Basically, I'm a metropolitan Wisconsin and sort of in personality. I appreciate family values. I very much like the savory food. I dare I say I love the seasons around here, despite not being predictable in the slightest. And Great America is by far the park I would most certainly call home. I know almost everything about it, and I wouldn't be willing to give it up. Also, homage to my childhood favorite, and even one of my current favorite home park heroes, Raging Bull, which I have my own little opinions on this. MC, even though it's not intentional to be sort of a when you say MC, you usually think of a musician. It works out even though I'm not really here to do music. I do enjoy music theory, composition, and I do enjoy coordinated playing. I play in string orchestras, but I also enjoy a lot of other types of music. And I very much like music as well. So the name kind of works out. I was hoping to go. It's still not formal. I do want to kind of have some sort of semblance of identity, but I also don't want to be overly formal. I don't want to be ridiculous like Peekaboo 25 was. I want to have something regarding coasters in my name, which was not what Peekaboo 25, the username, was doing for me. And for my sort of 200 subscriber special, I've dipped a little bit in my dormancy. I want to cover the history of me, my beginnings, my development, my present, and my current standings within the coaster community and YouTube community, as 200 is not something I expected to get for a long time. The fact that I was able to get 200 subscribers in less than, well, I think it was close to, from when I started coasters, it was 3 years, I think. It took me to get 200 subscribers, which honestly I wasn't expecting to get that far for a very long time with my production quality. It just, maybe that means I say things that are good. I'm not trying to fillet myself with positive commentary. I just want to think. Oh, and a part of the Matador thing, going back to that as well, I also do enjoy Texan culture a lot. San Antonio is one of actually my favorite city I've ever visited. I love San Antonio. I love that city. I'd live down there if I had to live anywhere in the southern United States. I'd live in San Antonio. My humble beginnings. Even from day camp age, I was a thrill seeker, with limits, which the limit theorem is very important later on. I spent my summers at my local community pool, had a pair of water slides, one tube slide and one speed body slide, in which the lines, if they were reasonable, I would marathon for reps on end. And I enjoyed trying to maximize my speed, whether it be through adding weight on the people in the tubes, or elongating my body to a proper posture on the speed slide. I always loved going to water parks, and I very much enjoyed swimming, which is something I enjoyed. I wasn't competitive, but I took regular swim lessons when I was younger, so I'm actually a quite adept swimmer if my upper body strength can still hold out. Come around 2007, I was in kindergarten. Great America was doing the Read to Succeed or Read to Achieve program, along with other things such as the Kane County Cougars, my county's minor league AA baseball team. They were giving out free tickets from students. I can't remember if it's like K through 2, K through 5. They were gifting tickets to Kane County Cougars games, and if you did everything for the entire year, you got a free admission ticket to Great America. And my first ever visit to Great America was my first ever visit to any major theme park, of course, and I did no dry rides. Nothing dry. Not even the train, not even Triple Play, not even something tame in Camp Cartoon or Wiggles World if it was even around in 2007. So, yeah, I stayed only in Hurricane Harbor, which then I did everything at Hurricane Harbor that the line would allow me to do. I was a very impatient kid. I've gotten better, but I never really was patient enough to stand in lines when I was younger, but I still managed to suffice on less crowded days. That made vacationing very tough as well. You'll see that later on. From age 4 or so to about age 7, maybe 8 years old, I stayed exclusively in water parks due to my limit theorem mostly, but also the fact that I just didn't want to go outside my comfort zone very much. The next slide will cover my dawn, my first coasters. Summer of 2008, I believe. I will be going to the fledgling, struggling, now defunct Kittyland Amusement Park in Melrose, Illinois, through my summer day camp. And I was willing to do some of the smaller flat rides, like some carousels or some of the stuff you'd see on the roadside carnivals. But there was one thing that I really was imposed by there, which was the roller coaster Little Dipper. Now, for 7, 8-year-old me, this was a very intimidating ride. It was taller than most things I'd seen prior. It was, like, I'd never been on a roller coaster before. I may have been in a Dragon Wagon, but I don't count those because that's technically not even a coaster. I don't count Dragon Wagons, but I don't even know if the Dragon Wagon came before or after. But I like to say Little Dipper is my first coaster. I had like fourth or fifth graders with me. I think a kid named Adam was my biggest boon back then. I don't know where he went. He offered to sit next to me on Little Dipper, nervous little me, and I accepted. I reluctantly accepted, but I accepted it. And I loved it. I loved Little Dipper. I got on it at least 3 times, probably a lot more. This is a decade ago, so excuse my memory. Several times, easily 3, 7, 10, 15 times that day. It was a walk-on every time as well, especially when other kids moved towards the back of the park, where there was a large tube slide in a dry area of the park, which I did once. That was the last time I'd also visit Kittyland as well. The stage was set. I officially loved roller coasters, and I started going to Great America with the same free tickets once a year or so, and I knocked out some of the smaller coasters back in, say, 2009, which was Viper, Dark Knight, Whizzer, Demon, Raging Cajun, and the tallest and fastest coaster I'd ridden back then, American Eagle. I did not want to ride anything taller than Eagle or taller and faster than Eagle because of my self-limiting theorem, which basically states that I am too scared to ride anything taller or faster than the tallest and fastest ride, and it would take some serious convincing to think otherwise. I don't know why I was like that, because I'm still, to this day, I still don't get out of my comfort zone a lot, but at coasters, I don't discriminate. I think I also was able to knock out things like Batman, Superman, and Iron Wolf into either 2009 or 2010 because I became more confident with inversions, which particularly became more prevalent with the East. Particularly my first ever landmark trip to Cedar Point in 2010, my 9.5-year-old self. The first park not in Illinois, the first major park not named Great America I've been to. I was ready to ride everything, and I talked all sorts of smack about the rides at the dinner prior going to the park. Say at the Great Wolf Lodge, which was an issue of its own. I cowered out of the rides, though. I cowered out a lot of them. Cowered out of Millennium Force, cowered out of Dragster, cowered out of Maverick, cowered out of even Mean Street back then. But I did get some great rides. Some smaller supporting ones, like Cedar Creek Mine Ride, which was fun, I found it very fun back then with my small stature. Disaster Transport was fantastic. Mantis was awful. Iron Dragon was pretty good. Gemini was fun. But the big two that I brought home with me were a ride on Raptor and Magnum. Magnum was my first ever hypercoaster, and ironically, despite living within an hour of a hypercoaster, the first one I ever rode was 6 hours from my home. So, yes, it was one of the scariest things I'd ever attempted, and honestly, I was a nervous wreck getting onto the ride. But like Little Dipper, I loved it. That opened up the doors for me to finish off every other coaster at Great America, other than one. I was able to ride Raging Bull, I was able to ride the soon-to-be X-Flight, I was able to just polish off pretty much everything in the park. And I had no fears except for one, which I'll get to later. Raptor also was my second favorite coaster after Raging Bull it's just such a fantastic ride, and to this day I still love it. Not only is it a great ride, I also love all the sentiment that it means to me, because it was my favorite coaster at Cedar Point for 3-4 years. Well, I'll get to more on that Cedar Point visits later, because that's my summer home. I only have a few more barriers to break back in 2010 to master the art of the thrill. My limit was hypercoasters and no launches. That are the exceptions. No launches, hypercoasters. In 2011 and 12, I did nothing of note except for regularly scheduled visits to Wisconsin Dells, Kalahari Resorts, Mount Olympus, Noah's Ark, Wilderness Resorts, did things up in there. But in 2013, I got the gears churning for the first time that I've been unable to stop. Cedar Point, I did the second time with my family. I had already been on X-Flight as it recently opened up for Great America as well, which was the first coaster I ever waited in line on opening day season pass holder preview opening day, which was easily an hour and a half wait. So and it was fun. I still like X-Flight, but it's not the best ride there. In 2013, I knocked out Gatekeeper, Corkscrew, and several of the other rides that I was able to do last time. But the two Big Fish, which became my two favorite coasters ever after 2013, Millennium Force and Maverick. Millennium Force became my favorite coaster for another 3 years. Maverick has still not left my top 5, and neither has Millennium Force. Maverick is an absolutely fantastic ride. But I did unfortunately chicken out on Top Thrill Dragster in favor of Gatekeeper. So the launch has been my kryptonite for the entire time now. I also have not done Stratocoasters, but I opened the door to Giga Coasters. And also, I think the reason I chickened out on TTD is that I would prefer to have ridden Gatekeeper, because it was already like 6 p.m. and I had to go home that day when I was at Cedar Point back in 2013. Like, it was already getting late. It was already getting to the evening, and I could have only done one more ride, because it was a busy day. So, yes, the launch coaster was my kryptonite back then. I would never, ever ride them. I have been on V2, which I had to be begged money for it, and I despised it back in the day. However, I will say that I'm just going to take a quick break from my history and say that I went cyber. In 2013, I gathered my younger brother and 2 of my older friends, and we all made Google Plus accounts. And I made a YouTube channel as a result of it. Mostly to comment on videos, do Minecraft and Gary's Mod, and I created Peakabutter25, my old alias. I had no ambition of doing coasters, or studying coasters really. I didn't even really want to know how they worked. I didn't want to know of anything. I wanted to be surprised. But that changed, of course. I have engulfed myself, like I said, in Minecraft and Gary's Mod, and even uploaded Minecraft to my videos of my own in 2014, which unfortunately are still available if you want to handle the cringe. Yeah, I had no idea of cinematography back then. Around 2015 is when I swapped from a dwindling Minecraft interest to roller coasters after a visit to Hershey Park, but I kept Peakabutter25 until now. And let's just say, from 2014 to 2016, I spent less and less and less time in Illinois. I did more visits in Great America by raw count, but I spent more time outside the state, visiting at least 10 theme parks from 2014 to 2016, which included jewels such as Hershey Park, Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and Carowinds. Some of my those are the biggest things from each year. I will say that 2016 the trip to Charlotte, Tampa Bay, Clearwater was my favorite trip on record, and I enjoy that one thoroughly. And it also become my new favorite, Fury 325, replacing Millennium Force at the top. I remember also that you remember when I said that I feared launches? Yeah, I finally conquered that frontier in 2015 with Storm Runner, an intimate accelerator launch. It was tall enough, it was short enough to handle. I was scared, but like most things, when I crossed my comfort zone, I loved it. I now can conquer every roller coaster on the planet, which I even did Top Thrill Dragster. I conquered Top Thrill Dragster in 2015. I think it was 2015 I conquered Top Thrill Dragster. Or was it 2016? It was one of those two, but I conquered Top Thrill Dragster in this time frame as well. But after Storm Runner. So, yes, I was able to just ascend to true coaster enthusiasm. I now had no restrictions, no limits, no holds barred. I will ride anything and everything as long as it won't kill me. And I will say that we're getting into my late history now. I continued my habit of traveling from 2017 to present, where I'll be hitting places up such as California, or I've already done places like California, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Minnesota, Florida, and later on I'll be doing this summer I'll be doing Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee, as well as Holiday World. I passed several major milestones, 100 and 200 subscribers, and I will also be finishing up. I've already finished up high school, so I'll be soon gaining fiscal independence as a university student. And I'm a full-blown coaster enthusiast. I'm here. This is me. I won't change. You can't make me. I love roller coasters, and I will not stop riding them until my body falls apart from limb to limb. So, yes, as I said, university is in the near future. I will realize my full responsibility as a functioning adult male, and I will start traveling, possibly with even old and new adult friends that may stem from coaster enthusiasm, pardon me. I very much look forward to what this will bring. And for the meantime, Midwest Coaster Matador, the new me, will finish by inspiring aspiring coaster enthusiasts. Don't pull me. Don't set your limits. Please go out of your comfort zone for roller coasters. Don't go balls to the walls. Don't be really bold and brash, but just push your limits. Get out of your comfort zone. Take it one step at a time as well. Live, learn, ride. Start small, work your way up, but don't limit yourself. Don't have unreasonable fears. Have at it. The world is yours. And I hope that some of you, if not all of you, are as privileged as me that I have been to have now over 150 roller coasters ridden from the present, with more on the way. I'll get at least another 15 to 20 roller coasters this summer at 4 different parks. And I've already knocked out the Disney World credits as well. So, that's it. That's my history. And welcome in Midwest Coaster Matador. Now about the logo, I know what I want to do with the logo, but I still got to get it commissioned. I'm hoping to have my younger brother, who does multimedia and now lost his friends because they were seniors that have now graduated high school, like me. Well, I wasn't in multimedia, but a couple of my friends were. I thought they were able to do it in 2 months. They didn't. They got some steps in, but the time ran out and they had some, I don't know, they disappointed me yet again. So I'll see if I can have my younger brother throw in an Illustrator and or Photoshop and see if I can get a really just rudimentary logo in the next probably 10 days. The last day of school for everybody in my area is the 24th. So I hope I can have it by then. In the meantime, thank you everybody. I'm back. I hope I can be back. I now have the summer to myself and I can start doing more things. I hope I can just continue making YouTube content, especially into university. And I do want to say again, thank you. Let's just say this is my unofficial 200 subscriber video celebration. Thank you. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscription. Maybe get back to 200 after the hiatus, sort of. And as per every video, as per usual, this tradition will not die, even with a name and remodel. I will say, after every video, that I wish all of you any viewers who have made it thus far, and even any who didn't, unbeknownst. I wish you all